Hey, how's it going, Rocket League fans? Hope you guys are all doing well. Lawler here, as always. We've got a pretty interesting one to talk about today, as it has to deal with the FIFA E World Cup. Not to be confused with the Esports World Cup that just wrapped up, or the Esports Nations Cup that we'll talk about. Obviously, a lot of things going on, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about FIFA E. This is the event that goes down in December. If you guys didn't remember last year when I was running the Apex, there was another tournament going on where teams were competing for their nations or for their countries. The United States was supposed to send basically energy, but that didn't happen. They ended up sending the old RMC roster with Raw Greg and everybody, and Reddles, Magic Bear, and Cheese, who had a very early leak. We saw the Moroccan team with Itachi and Nas and everybody. But this event was one that was pretty well celebrated. A lot of people really liked it. We got to see like heart rate monitors as part of the production team, and it is back. This year it is coming back. We do have official confirmation that the FIFA World Cup for 2025 is going to be there. But the frustrating thing is a lot of big name rosters and a lot of big name countries are either still not involved or being released due to complications. We're also seeing a lot of information about how some of these countries are being mistreated. To that, I'm going to try to provide some, I guess, level-headed takes on it in regards to maybe it's just not a familiar understanding. But there is definitely some people taking advantage of the circumstance. We'll talk about all that in today's video. So if you guys enjoy the content, as always, like, subscribe, notifications, buckle up. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's talk about which countries are not involved first. There's 3 of them that we already are aware of. The first one, Shift put out a tweet, but we did get a bunch of insight from Seb, who is the Canadian representative, who always preaches and praises about Canada and Canadian Rocket League. But FIFA, as the official organization, does reach out to the soccer associations, the soccer federations, to handle the fielding of their team for the FIFA E World Cup. That applies to 4 different titles. It is EAFC. It is now Rocket League, included for the first time last year. There's now UFL, which is like another free-to-play soccer game that's pretty new. I don't even think it's released yet. It's brand new. There's eFootball, and then there's Football Manager. So there's 5 titles. It is up to the country's official soccer team that is in partnership with FIFA to handle and run this stuff, which is where a lot of the complications come. You're talking about a lot of old heads, a lot of people who are unfamiliar with esports being put in charge, a lot of marketing teams that have no idea what's going on, that their experience, while it be traditional sports, have no clue how to run proper esports related competition type fielding of rosters, qualification processes, or any of that kind of stuff. Some that are doing this properly will reach out to select individuals. You're seeing this with France with like Farah. You saw England last year reach out to Here Lies Jeff, or Jeff, who used to be or might still be the operating officer, the COO for Resolve, who used to compete in Rocket League. But they are reaching out to basically consultants to help put stuff together. This continues to be an issue across the board for a lot of different countries, and some of the countries that are being made involved also shows a lack of understanding. Why they're bringing in countries like Portugal, no offense to Mertzi and the boys on Turkey, it's just they're not fielding top tier teams, but teams like Japan aren't included, Canada's not included, Denmark's not included. Like, there's some weird ones that they're just not paying attention to. So that being said, the first one we did find out was Canada, not involved. Seb did say, hey, I've been working with Esports Canada for like a year to make this happen. He said we had a selection committee in place. We had players interested. We followed every single guideline to make a national team, and were denied at the door to make it happen. They recognize and respect the pressures and priorities currently facing Canadian soccer, but stand by the elite players and passionate fans around Canada. It's an opportunity. It's a really cool chance to go and represent your country, especially in a title that is super accessible and very well received on the public light. Their decision not to participate in this past year, after 2024 didn't go well, did everything they could to start putting things together to ensure management, coaching, team selection process, Olympic standards were principles outlined in their sport governance code. Basically wanted to make sure that there was no excuse when it came to the legal side, as well as making sure that they were properly educated about everything with rules, restrictions, guidelines. They wanted to do it the right way. They're now basically begging that the government of Canada and sport to urgently review the recognition and please allow us to do this. We don't know why you're not. They said, while we're saddened to miss the opportunity for Canadian Rocket League players, we affirm our readiness to support it. But the ultimate decision is made by the governing body that runs the official soccer team. And if the official soccer team has zero desire to get involved, for whatever reason that may be, they're not going to do it. It could primarily just come down to money. The amount of money that it takes to boot camp or send the team or provide to them kits or, whatever support that comes, merch, you name it, as a lot aren't being compensated either through prize pool or through time and effort put in. But that's a different situation. So again, Canada not being involved due to whatever the reasoning that the Canadian Football Club Federation, whatever you want to call it, says, hey, it's not in our best interest. We don't want to do it. Alongside of that, we did see that Spain will also not be participating, which was a pretty dang good playoff team. If you guys don't remember, Atomic, CRR, and Stizzy went and played. This one came with some information made public by Stizzy and Atomic. Atomic said, I didn't know about this until right now. And also with the treatment and deal we had last year, it was obvious we weren't going to play it. So even if they would have approached it, we still weren't going to do it. Tournament's amazing, and it was awesome, but we're going to watch from home. Stizzy decided to then say, hey, I want you guys to know that none of us took a single euro from the tournament. Spain wanted us to make at least top 4 to take prize pool, and then even then making top 4, they would take 50% of the prize, which is ludicrous. That's a ton. Spain took the 15K prize pool, so they took 100% of it. They didn't pay for the flights. They only gave us shirts and told us that it had cost them to give us the shirts. And now after all of that, they tell us that they don't want to participate in the tournament when they do not have to spend any money on top of what we found out yesterday that we were not going to play in it. Atomic also adds that either we do that or they told us that they were choosing another team to play because all they cared about was getting money and not even taking care of us meanwhile we were there. A lot of organizations, a lot of people, and we don't need to talk about who, say, hey, you don't deserve to be paid. You should be proud. You should be honored that you get a chance to represent your country. That's word for word, verbatim what a lot of them say. You should be proud that you get to represent your country. That's why we don't have to pay you. That's why we don't have to compensate you. That's why we don't have to pay you for your time. Many people who have been approached as a coach or people who have been approached as players have been said, we ain't paying you squat. Give us your time, your energy, your effort for free. You're going to go and represent our country. You're going to go do all this stuff for your country, but we don't value you as an individual putting in time and effort to go and do so. There has been that on numerous occasions. On the other side, it is common practice in traditional sports, in traditional football or soccer, if you're here in America, that you do not get paid extra compensation for going and competing in World Cup type things. There are bonuses awarded. There are things that they do provide, but for a majority of them, and in the Olympics as well, this showcases how little people get paid to go compete in the Olympics. This is pretty common in traditional sports, and as stated in chat from Mertzy, dinosaurs behind these federations, classic FIFA corruption, only there to fill their pockets, which is the unfortunate thing about a officially backed FIFA type global World Cup experience. While yes, it is official, yes, it is in direct relation with FIFA, that also comes with a lot of the negatives that FIFA is known for. EJBY or EdgeB did say, from what we can tell, Denmark isn't participating in FIFA E once again. It seems to be a common regard that a lot of these major countries that we would expect to go and compete will not be doing so because they look at the costs involved. They look at what it is exactly that it takes to support a team, pay for their travel, give them kits, all that kind of stuff. And they go, hey, we either take a significant part of the prize pool, otherwise this just isn't worth it for us, which is goofy because a lot of these countries, specifically in the United States, by the way, desperately need this young demographic. They need these young fans. Like, if I'm talking USA specifically, most people in the United States do not give two shits about football or soccer. They don't care about MLS. They don't care. They don't care. And this is an easy one-to-one to say, hey, if we go and properly support, maybe we can get some turnover. Maybe we can spend some of that marketing budget to come and get some attention on a national level to hopefully start to make soccer more accepted in the United States. But they still don't choose to. It's kind of crazy. That being said, this long tangent, this long rant, we do not know which countries exactly are going to be involved. We don't know which 16 teams are going to go and compete. Who's going to have a good opportunity, who is not, who is going to be compensated fairly, who is not. The difficulty here is some things to pay attention to. FIFA World Cup is ran by the same people who did the Esports World Cup. The people that just put on EWC, the PIF, Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, same people. They did just recently announce the ENC, which is the Esports Nations Cup, which I don't know how this is going to go, because the complication is this seems like a massive conflict of interest. And ENC is literally FIFA World Cup, but not with FIFA. So if you guys just watched EWC, imagine EWC, but now it's the countries. So are they just saying, hey, we're going to do this on our own without FIFA involved? With a lot more titles and a lot more games? Are we literally just going to take whatever FIFA Foundation is and just do it better? Like, this is entirely soccer-based. You look at the competitions, you look at the titles, the 5 that I mentioned, sure. But if you look at the Nations Cup and we pull this up, like, it is going to be everything. And it is going to be countries. So take Esports World Cup with all the organizations, and then now it's going to be countrymen. Or countrywomen. It's going to be people representing their country. So we now already have EWC. All these organizations try to represent as many players, and now we're going to have countries doing the same thing. And if they can do that without FIFA's involvement, it's not the worst solution. But what does it mean for the partnership? Because EWC and now ENC are the same people that run the production for FIFA in the same location with the same backing. So does that mean FIFA is going to technically die? Because it is a massive conflict of interest. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting 2026. All the stuff they're showing here, this is what we literally just watched this past weekend. Rocket League from the event we just watched. I do not know what the situation is. I don't know how FIFA is going to shake out. I don't know which organizations are going to be there. I do not know how this is going to go, but it definitely feels like, hey, if ENC is coming in with more titles and we don't have to deal with the old heads of FIFA, that's a W. But what does it mean for the company? It'll be interesting. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. I'm very interested to see how this one plays out, and hopefully this means that better situations for everybody involved, especially when it comes to the player side of things. And then what does that mean for the representatives that are going to be the ones that do things for the country? How does that work? Like, how do we decide who is the USA team, the Germany team, how does that stuff happen? How do they discern? You're the person who figures it out. I don't know. Either way, that's gonna do today's video. It's a chaotic one. A lot of developments. I'll try to keep you guys up to date as always. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on this stuff, like, subscribe, notifications. This one was all over the place. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.